Hi all, welcome to the last video, and this is the third video in the series. Series of while loops. So, welcome to this video, and in this video, we'll kind of talk about all the variants of writing while loop at the superficial level, and we'll conclude the discussion on the while loops part. So, like I said in the video two, we have seen how we use while loop to ensure that a certain validation checks are performed on the user input. And in the first video, we have seen how we use while loops that were controlled by a variable. So overall, this is a state. Like we can write three types of while loops in C++. Broadly, we classify this. The first one is counter controlled. So counter controlled means whatever the example that we have seen in the beginning. So if I write, if we create a variable I, and we want to, control it when I value reaches a certain point, and we were simply doing cout, whatever the value of I, and then I plus plus. So this variable I, this is controlling how many times the while loop has to run along with this condition. And to reach from 0 to 5, we are doing update statement. So whatever we wrote initially, the first while loop, that's an example for the counter controlled while loop. And in the second instance, we have seen how to write a while loop with something like while of true. And remember the statement that I said? Whenever I have a while loop which says while of true, it is always the responsibility of the programmer to ensure that there is somewhere a keyword break. If not, it's an infinite while loop. Just be careful. And now, whenever we wrote this sort of while loop, accepting the input from the user for the shutdown variable, and if shutdown is y or shutdown is lowercase y or shutdown is n or shutdown is lowercase n. So there won't be or, just close it. In this case, we simply wrote break. So this is the second while loop that we had on the screen. Now, I can actually write the second while loop in two ways. Okay, so two ways I'm going to write this while loop. So the first one, the first approach in which I am going to write this while loop is using a variable. So we already know that we have a character variable called shutdown. Okay, I'm using that. Now, I'm creating another variable, bool, and I'm calling it as valid input, or let's say, let me call it as invalid input. And I'll say that whenever I'm starting, before even getting the input from the user, I'd say that the input is invalid. So whatever the user, user is yet to give an input, but let's say I'm beginning with an assumption that you gave an invalid input. Now, the way I'm going to write the while loop is while of invalid, whatever the Boolean variable that I have, I'm going to use it here. So while of invalid input at the beginning is nothing but while true. I just made only one change. The single change is that instead of saying while of true, I said I'll create a variable. My bad. I'll create a variable invalid input and I'll store the true value inside it. And I'm using it here. Okay. So this is nothing but while of true. Now, what am I doing next? I'm going to accept the input for this shutdown value. And if shutdown, if the input is valid, basically, if shutdown is y, sorry, or all the conditions. I'm going to close it. As long as the shutdown is valid, I'll simply say that invalid input is false. That means if the user gave one of the correct inputs, uppercase y, uppercase n, lowercase n, if the user gave one of the correct input choices, then I'm telling that it's no longer an invalid input. No longer an invalid input means invalid input is false. That means it's a valid input. So whenever invalid input is false means it's a valid input. So all I'm doing is end the while loop. So now if we observe, the way we are starting is that it's always an invalid input. Get the input from the user. If the input is valid, then just say that invalid input is false. And the moment when compiler goes here, after receiving a valid input, again, after receiving a valid input means shutdown value is yes, let's say. Shutdown value is yes. So that means a valid input. After receiving valid input, invalid input is going to be false. Again, I'm not sure, just ignore or just bear with these cross straight lines. So invalid input is false. The moment invalid input is false, then our computer, this is going to be while of false. So the moment it is while of false, then the compiler will simply, or the computer will simply skip the while loop. So one approach that we have just seen is that whenever I want to transform this tiny while of true logic, the way I transformed it is I stored the true value inside a variable and I'm playing around with this true value. I'm making this true value as false upon receiving a valid input. So this approach is called sentinel controlled. My bad. We can say sentinel controlled as well, but that's fine. But the more appropriate term is flag controlled. So what is a flag here? A flag here means as long as this flag, a Boolean variable. So whenever we say flag in computer science or in programming context, just imagine we are talking about a bool variable, and this can be either true or false. So this is flag controlled because I'm creating a flag. Initially, the flag is for whether the user gave invalid input. Yes, the user gave invalid input. That's my assumption. Now, as long as user is giving invalid input, get the input from the user. If the input is valid at some point, then say that it's no longer an invalid input. If it's no longer an invalid input, then the computer will skip running the while loop, whatever that's inside a while loop. So this entire thing is being controlled by a variable of Boolean data type, which we call it as flag in computer science. So this is what we call as flag controlled while loop. So the two types of while loop that we have seen, the first one is counter controlled. It's the same as while loop that we have seen at the beginning. The second type of while loop is flag controlled, and this is how we do it. And just to ensure that it's no longer confusing, now what we are doing is we are going to write another version for the same while loop. Another version for the same while loop. This is version 2. This time, I'd not say that it's while of true or it's while of invalid input. But this time, okay, my screen is frozen. Okay, so this time what I'd say is that I'd say that character variable Let me move. Yeah, no, didn't work. So. Finally, it's responsive. So now I'm writing another version for this, whatever the while loop that we just started with. So remember, this is a while loop that we started with. I'm writing another version for it. Now, in this version, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna, come on, I'm gonna accept a character input from the user, and I'm calling it as shutdown. And let's say that I'm giving a wrong input, or I'm giving an empty character. So I'm giving a white space. I'm giving an empty character. It's nothing basically. Okay, so a space as a character. Now what I'm doing, I'm writing a while loop in such a way that I'm going back to our while loop with conditions. So while loop with conditions, the condition is that shutdown is not equal to uppercase Y. Shutdown is not equal to uppercase Y. And see how I changed. When this was equal to, I was using OR, but this time I'm ensuring that the shutdown is not valid at all. So it's not equal to lowercase y, and shutdown is not equal to uppercase N, and lastly, shutdown is not equal to lowercase n. All the four conditions, I'm telling that whenever the shutdown is not a y, not a lowercase y, not an uppercase n, not a lowercase n, then go inside the while loop. So at the beginning, it's an empty value. So empty value is not equal to either of these four. So the computer will go inside the while loop. Now, what am I doing inside the while loop? I'm simply getting the value for shutdown. I got the value for shutdown, and then that's it. I'm not doing anything else. So get the value for shutdown. And let's say user entered A for shutdown. That means we are going back here. A not equal to uppercase Y? Yes. A not equal to lowercase y? Yes. A not equal to uppercase N? Yes. True, basically, true, true, true. All these four are true. So as long as all these four are true, then we are asking the user to enter the value of shutdown. Keep entering shutdown, keep entering shutdown. So this is how we write another version of our while loop for the same scenario. So overall, this approach is sentinel controlled. And when we say sentinel controlled, yeah. Yes, so this approach is sentinel controlled. Sentinel controlled. So these are the three approaches. Sentinel control. Now, I'll put all these three one more time. All the three together one last time, or all four together one last time. So we have something called as counter control. I0, while I less than 5, simply do I++. This is a counter control. And for the second variety, to explain both third and fourth types of while loop, I started with something called as while of true. And then I was accepting shutdown and sorry, I was accepting this variable called shutdown, and I wrote some if conditions. If shutdown is uppercase Y or all the conditions, and I said break. I said break. So I wrote this while loop in two formats. The first format is what we called as flag controlled. So what did we do in flag controlled? We created, remember, flag means a Boolean variable in computer science or in programming terminology. So flag means a Boolean variable. So we started with invalid input. Yes, whatever the input that the user at the beginning or whenever I'm starting, I'm saying that it's an invalid input and I need a character to shut down. Now, the case is that while it's an invalid input, so as long as it's an invalid input, as long as it's an invalid input, get the input from the user. Check if this input is now valid at least. So is the input valid? All the conditions. As soon as the input is valid, just turn off the flag. Invalid input is going to be false. And then done. So this is a flag controlled while loop. Now, the same logic, we wrote something called as sentinel controlled. Just ensure that I'm not sure about the whatever I wrote the spelling for sentinel. Just ensure whenever you're doing it up, just Google it up and find the correct spelling. Yeah. And then sentinel controlled. So now in sentinel controlled, all I'm doing is that char shutdown. Character shutdown is initially an empty value. And now I'm back to our first type of while loop where we wrote a condition inside while. I'm actually writing a loop condition again. So as long as shutdown is not an uppercase Y and shutdown is not a lowercase y and shutdown is not an uppercase N, and lastly shutdown is not a lowercase n, simply get the shutdown value again. So this is sentinel control. I'm looping until a condition is met. The condition is that it should be a valid input. So this is how we can write the for loop while of true in two times. A flag control, a sentinel control. And overall, these are the three types of while loops: counter controlled, flag controlled, sentinel controlled. I hope these three types are clear enough. If not, kindly reach out to me. We'll discuss over these three types of while loops at your convenience.